Hey guys, happy Monday. Today's math lesson is going to be about lesson 91. It's on page 474 of your math book. And luckily this lesson is actually all review. It covers every single thing that we've learned, so hopefully it will not be too difficult.
We don't have any more.
So I'm going to start by talking about perimeter formulas. So we're focusing on perimeter and area today, and I threw in just a little bit of circumference that we'll talk about here shortly. And so these notes is just like I said, a review. So to get perimeter of a square, you can add up all four sides. So what that would look like is 4 times the sides, whatever the measurement is of one side, all four sides have to be the same. So you could just multiply that, or you could just simply add all four sides up together. So if I have this example, 2 inches by 2 inches, then I could either do I could do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and I get 8, which would be following this formula. Or if I wanted to do the other way, then I would just multiply 4 times the 2 inches, because that's the length of S, which represents side. So either way I do it, I still get the same answer of 8 inches. The rectangle is very similar to the square. I'm just going to simply add up all four sides. So length plus width plus width. So if I have a rectangle that is 4 centimeters by 1 centimeter, I simply just add 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1, and I get 10 centimeters. Now notice that I'm not putting a little square or the little 2 on the outside of these units, and that is because I am getting perimeter, not area. Parallelogram. This one is where it can get a little confusing because you have usually 3 numbers, but you're actually only going to use 2 of them to get the perimeter. So just like everything else, you're still going to add up all 4 sides, but you are not including the height measurement, which is going to be the measurement that is on the dotted line normally. And we can even write that in. You are not going to use the dotted line measurement because that is the height. You are only going to use the base number and the side number. So on this example here, if this is 5 feet, then that means the base also has to be 5 feet. So then if that side is 3 feet, then this side has to be 3 feet as well. So that is where I get 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. And when I do that, I get 16. Notice I did not use the 2 feet at all because that is my height number. And I don't need my height number for perimeter. The triangle is the same way. I am not going to use the height number, which is also the dotted line. So notice how I have 6 inches, 7 inches, and 5 inches. Those are the 3 sides that I'm going to be adding up together. So 6 plus 7 plus 5 is 18 inches. Notice how I did not use the height at all. And those are the 4 formulas that we need to remember for perimeter. So now I'm going to switch over to area, and I will post these notes as usual. So area for a square, we simply do length times width, or since the sides are all the same length of a square, you could just do side times side, or side to the second power. It is the exact same formula as length times width. So again, if I have a square that is 2 inches by 2 inches, I can simply just multiply 2 times 2 to get my 4 inches. And notice how I added a little square right there. my little 2. That is absolutely needed since I am getting area. Rectangular, or I'm sorry, not rectangular, but rectangle, to get area, I do length times width. So if I have a rectangle that is 4 centimeters by 1 centimeter, I simply just multiply 4 and 1, and I get 4 centimeters square. Parallelogram, again, this is one of those confusing ones because I have all of these numbers here, but I'm only going to use 2 of them. I am not going to use the side numbers this time. I'm only going to use the base number and the height number. So those 3's don't matter. The base number is always going to be at the bottom of the shape, and the height number is usually the dotted line. So to get area, I'm going to simply multiply 5 times 2 to get my 10 feet square. Triangle, very similar formula, except I have this 1/2 in there. So it is 1/2 times base times height. So again, I'm using the bottom base number, and I'm using the height number, which is the dotted line. I am not going to be using these side numbers at all. So I simply am going to multiply 7 times 2 to get my 14 here. And then I'm going to multiply that 14 by 1/2 to get 7 inches square as my answer. And that's it for area. Again, this is nothing new. This is all stuff that we've gone over. It's just putting it all into perspective for you on one lesson. And this is not part of today's lesson, but I'm going to throw it in there just as extra review. Circumference, if you remember, circumference is pi times 2 times radius, or also known as pi times diameter. Because remember, 2 times radius gives you that diameter. So if I have a diameter of 4 inches, then I would do 3.4 times 4, because pi is 3.14. I get 12.56 inches. But if I'm going to use the first formula, if my radius is 2, then I would do 3.4 times 2 times the 2 inches as my radius, and I still get the same answer. And I think that will conclude all of lesson 91. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns with this lesson, and good luck on your homework. Have a great day, guys.